This video will concentrate on the Georgia Standards of Excellence for 3rd grade math 3 MD1, which focuses on telling and writing time to the nearest minute, as well as solving addition and subtraction word problems to calculate elapsed time. 1st and 2nd grades lay the foundation for success with 3 MD1. 1st graders focus on telling time to the hour, as well as half hour on analog and digital clocks. A common error that students often make is misreading the location of the hour hand when it lies between two different hour intervals. As students enter 2nd grade, they begin to focus on telling and writing time to the nearest 5 minutes, as well as determining whether an event occurs in the AM or PM. When dealing with elapsed time in 3rd grade, students may have difficulty calculating the change in time when the intervals move from AM to PM and vice versa. Instead of saying 1 o'clock, students may mistakenly say 13 o'clock. Students may mistakenly overgeneralize the base 10 system when calculating elapsed time. They may view hours and minutes as hundreds, tens, and ones. Addition with time stops at 60 minutes and 12 hours. So it is often difficult for students to make the switch when addition and thinking about regrouping in base 10 has been the standard. Adding to this complexity is the lack of experiences and exposure to analog clocks in daily life. In this example, the students strive to find the difference or change in time by subtracting. Students should avoid trying to calculate elapsed time with an algorithm. Students should begin calculating elapsed time within the same hour by visualizing a clock face. Students can then transfer that knowledge to calculating longer periods. T-charts and open number lines are beneficial tools that allow students to count up or back in hours and minutes. Using open number lines that do not have defined increments allows students to determine the span of each jump. While this student was able to jump from 10:15 to the next hour, other students may decide to use smaller spans of time or hop by hours and then 10, 5, and 1 minute increments. To avoid errors, students should be encouraged to jump in small increments that make sense to them. To introduce the concept of elapsed time, there are many great books and tasks that allow for students to explore a variety of situations. These books and activities help link telling time to real-world situations. Tasks such as the daily schedule, which is found in Unit 6 of the Georgia Frameworks, are a great way for students to analyze elapsed time and how it applies to their daily lives. After documenting the activities that occur at school, students were then able to include activities that occur after school. As students documented and compared their schedules, they practiced telling time to the minute and developed a more conceptual understanding of passing time. Throughout the unit on elapsed time, it is important to expose students to a variety of problem types. These examples provide the start time and end time while encouraging students to find the change in time. In elapsed time situations, students may need to find the start time, end time, or change in time. The following slides and videos will show examples of each problem type. In this example, students calculated the change in time. They knew that Andy started the nap at 2:56 and woke up at 3:45. How long did he nap?
I knew the start time was 2:56 and the end time was 3:45.
What do you need to find out?
I need to find out the change.
So what did you do to help do that?
I start at 2:56 and add 10 minutes and I got 3:06 and I add another 10 minutes and got 3:16. Add another 10 minutes and got 3:26 and I got the 10 minutes and I got 3:36 and I add 9 minutes and I got 3:46.
3:45. So what was your change in time?
It was...
How do you find out the change in time? What do you need to do now to find the change?
I'm gonna count this whole thing.
And so what was that?
It's gonna be 49.
49. Here is another example of students finding the change in time. Michaela went for a run at 2:42. She returned home at 3:16. How long did she run?
Started with 2:42. I added 30 minutes. And when I added 10 minutes, I got 2:52. When I added 10 more minutes, I got 3:02. When I added one more 10 minute, I got 3:12. When I added 3 minutes, I got 3:15. And at the end part, I figured out that it was 34 minutes for the change.
So you added 10, 20, 30, 3. Did you add another minute at the bottom?
Yes, I added one more minute. That made it 3:16.
So what information did you know on this problem?
Well, I knew that the start time would be 2:42 and the end time would be 3:16.
So what did you find out?
I figured out that the change time is 34 minutes.
In this situation, the end time is unknown. Students began with the start time and had to calculate the total change in time. By hopping on a number line, they were able to determine the end time.
Start time, and I know that he brushed his teeth for 5 minutes and 10 minutes to get dressed and 15 minutes to eat breakfast. And I hopped 5 minutes to get to 6:35 and 10 minutes to get to 6:45 and another 10 minutes to get to 6:55 and 5 minutes to get to 7 o'clock, and that's how I got the answer.
This last problem type shows a situation in where the start time is unknown. The cupcakes baked for 45 minutes and were taken out of the oven at 5:05. What time were they put in the oven? To find the start time, students will use the change in time to count backwards from the end time. To integrate technology and explore time further, students can research travel times to favorite tourist spots. After selecting a location, students worked in groups to begin their research. The small groups found the travel times by using Google Maps, while analyzing and comparing the different trips. Where are you girls going, and how long is it going to take to get there?
To Camerland Island. How long it's going to take is 5 hours and 36 minutes.
If we leave at 8:15 in the morning, is that AM or PM?
AM.
AM. And what happens when we get to 12:15?
It's PM.
This culminating task challenges students to see how many movies they can watch in one day. When assigning this task, it is important to select a theater that has show times that begin before noon and extend late into the evening. After locating show times, teachers can then research the elapsed time of each movie. As students choose the movies they would like to watch, they begin with the start time and use the length of the movie to determine the end time before selecting the next movie to watch. This task can be adapted by changing the type of information that is provided. Instead of the start time and change in time, students could be required to find the length of the movie or start time. How many movies were you able to see in one day?
7.
And what time did you start?
10 a.m.
And then what time did you finish?
1:04 a.m.
So what movie did you want to go see?
Get Out.
And what time does it start?
10:45.
And how long does it last?
1 hour and 44 minutes.
So how did you find what time it was going to be over?
I hopped 1 hour and it was 11:45, and then 10 minutes and it was 11:55. 10 minutes more, 12:05, and then 10 minutes more, it's 12:15, and more 10, it's 12:25, and then at 4, it's 12:29.